So this person had him all the way up to the point where he was ready to give his social security number.
In the end, like, I lost about $3,000 that I didn't even have.
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Annie.
And we have 111 years experience. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about scam stories.
Everybody's got one.
We had a situation come up this past week that we were talking about, and Annie said, I think that needs to be an episode.
Actually, it was my husband. He's like, this is your next episode.
So we were like,
and I had a good laugh at that. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right, because I was very upset. And it wasn't scamming me. It was scamming my younger son. And it was a product. It was a life insurance product that he didn't need. Generally, life insurance is for people who have dependents, and people
or
who
a
have
house payment,
or a mortgage, or it's one of those things to protect your other people in your life. Not necessarily. It doesn't really protect you. It protects like
everybody else.
And so this person had him all the way up to the point where he was ready to give his social security number, and he just happened to
not remember
it and asked me, what was it? And I was like, well, why do you need it? He said, because I'm signing up for life insurance. And my brain went, what? And I was like, first of all, what kind is it? And he explained to me the kind it was, and it was not the kind that is for a certain amount of time. It's like a long process one. It's like a whole life policy, which I'm not necessarily against, because in certain cases, that's what people need to do.
Not in his case.
But in his case, it's unnecessary. He has no dependents. He has no debt. He has no, reason to need it. And so, I was very confused. And so I started intervening, because he's on the phone at that point, FaceTiming with the person who was selling the product.
Oh, he was FaceTiming.
He was FaceTiming them. And of course, at that point, I'm like asking him I'm rapid fire questioning and everything else. And the person on the other end was not happy. The person who was attempting to make this sale of this product was feeling the pinch of, someone is about to steal this sale from me.
She's reeling him in.
She was, and I
went,
snapped the line. And I was like, and there came a point in it where she started to get a little bit testy with me, because I was interfering with her potential money, I'm sure.
Yeah, her commission.
And her commission. And I felt very, very angry. Like, I don't usually get angry, but I guess,
that's Mama Bear.
If they
that's
mess
Mama
with
Bear coming out.
with your kids, it's like, you can mess with me all you want. I mean, I'm tough. I can handle it, but don't be messing with my kiddos. And it was rough. And so, of course, it was very hard. It was one of those really tough moments, but I could tell he was so naive. He's not.
Well, I'm sure she told him, you need this.
Of course.
This is something that you need.
Of course. And it came through probably, she had said that he had gotten his name from his union.
The workers' union,
to his workers' union. But still, he didn't have, he did not have any reason to have the product. It just doesn't make sense financially to do it at this point in his life.
But she didn't go.
But that's not helping her make her commission, as we said. And I was very angry, because she got snippy with me, and that was like the wrong choice. That was not going to be good. It was going in the wrong direction. Yeah. And I was like, well, you need to let her go to my son. And he's like, okay, my mom says I have to go now. Bye. And he hung up the phone. And of course, at that point, and when I get angry, I wish I could punch. I wish I was one of those people that would have that physical response, but I do not. I do not. I cry.
Yeah.
When I'm hurt, I cry. It just comes out all in tears and anger.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. And it's
ugly cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had to go into the bedroom and calm down and cry a little bit and let it out, because it really had me going. And the sort of thing, tag team parenting is so important. So I call my husband and kind of tell him the situation, and he calls my son, and he's the one who was like, okay, you may be a little frustrated right now, but mom just saved you a lot of money. Yeah. And she was trying to sell you something you don't need. And if you're ever wanting to do something like this, you ask us and we will point you into the safest direction. We're going to make sure that no one takes advantage of you.
Right.
And, but how easily he was taken advantage of.
Oh, yeah.
And then, because it was a life insurance policy, he made me the beneficiary. That made my head explode.
Oh my gosh.
Because then I'm the one who's going to benefit from this scam.
Yeah.
In the law, like let's say he completes everything and does everything
before you could stop him. Yeah. Before you could
and
stop
then
him.
I would be the one who would receive that. No. It was bad. And so I kind of had to like cry it off and kind of like get through it. And thank goodness my husband tag teamed up in there and did the explanation to my son, and he understands. And my husband is much better with that logical black and white. He laid out all the math for him, and that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to him. And he was like, and he was like, wow, they really were trying to take advantage of me. And I was like, yeah. He didn't know. And he's very trusting. He's kind of naive. He's sheltered, if you want to say that.
Right. But that's not something he has to deal with.
It's not. And it's really frustrating for me to watch him get taken advantage of right there. And I had no idea. Yeah. That's part of it too, I think too, is I really wasn't paying attention to what was happening with him until he asked me about the Social Security number. And I'm like, where? And my husband always says something. He's like, never, ever, if someone calls you on the phone to sell you something, if you really are interested, ask them to send you paperwork. Ask them to give you a website or something where you can investigate it. And then you can make the decision where you're not feeling pressured by that other person. Yeah. Because we get so, we're social animals. And so like the socialization of it is we may feel bad about turning someone down or, that's how, I'm naive. I know that that's how they make their money. I understand. Yeah. I understand that kind of thing, but yeah, it was rough. It was a bad day. Yeah. It was a bad day, but we made it through. And I think I've been working so hard on my relationship with him and really trying to get closer with him. And I was really afraid for a while that my blowing up about this had damaged it somehow. Yeah. And so that made it harder for me too, was that I've been working so hard on trying to get closer, and we've just gotten so good the summer has been really good about that. And I feel like, we're closer than we've been in a long time. And I've just totally messed it up. That's what I kept thinking. But it didn't. It didn't. He understands. And he knows that. That's good. And like I think he understands too, like how protective we are willing to be for him. Yeah. Now. And that's really good. Well, that's a good grown-up thing to think about. Yeah. Because the people who love you will go to bat for you and protect you, even if you think, I don't need that, but like, you might. You might. You might. Your tribe's going to come for you. Help you if you need it. So and as he gets older, he'll appreciate that a little more. I think so. Yeah, I think that this happened probably at a good age for him to start to really open his eyes to that how scammy. So scammy. The world is so scammy. So scammy. It was so scammy. I felt so scammy. I mean, it was like it was this close. Yeah, it was this close. I'm glad you were there. Woo. I know. That's what I said. I've said that like 100 times since it happened. I was just so glad I was paying at least that much attention. Yeah. 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 Whew. I just go. Shoo. Yeah. Well, my scam story it didn't happen to me, but it happened to my parents. And I can't remember how many years it's been now. And this seemed to be a trend several years ago. Where 10 years probably. Has it been about 10 years? Where somebody called them and said that they were... I'm trying to think if they said they were Sean or they were a friend of Sean's. I think they said they were a friend of one of their grandsons. And said that he was he either got arrested. I don't know all the details, but he got arrested or in jail. But I think it was like he was in jail. Like he was in jail. Yeah, and they needed to go to Target to get gift cards to get him out. And I'm like, I don't understand how they thought that was going to help him get out. But somehow but I guess they just heard his name and was like, how can we help? Yeah, this has to be real, because how would anybody know that my grandkid's name? Our grandson. How would that? Yeah, which really kind of, first of all, ticked me off, but kind of terrified me at the same time. It's like, these people know way more than they need to know. Well, I think, a lot of our information is out there. I wonder, I don't know how they got the information, but there's so many things on social media nowadays that tell who is in your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you might comment on something on the Facebook.
That's true.
Or
And
something.
they're watching.
And
so that's probably where they got it from. But they got them. My mom went to Target and she got those gift cards. It was something like, I don't know, like $3,000 or something like that. It was a lot of money.
Oh my word.
It was a lot. Luckily they got it back because, they figured out pretty fast that it was a scam. But oh my gosh, that's terrible. And here they are just trying to help,
And so it's a way that they're preying on an older couple who may not know that this is like happening.
That it's a thing, yeah.
That this is even a thing, that people could call you up and lie to you and tell you that your loved one is in jail and that you need to bring thousands of dollars in gift cards
to get him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
then
that just made me so
Did they
mad.
transfer the money to them, or how did they get the?
I don't even remember how they did it.
Yeah, you just remember the big details.
It was the having to go to Target to get, and I don't know why it had to be Target, but I mean, I guess they just said go to Target and get this many. I guess it must have been Visa gift cards,
probably something like that.
Yeah,
and I bet they probably just had to read off all the numbers and stuff like that, or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know how they did it, but it just, oh my gosh, so mad,
and it's so
mad.
scary.
Somebody
It's so scary
mom and
because
dad.
They didn't know.
No, they're just trying to help.
They're just trying to help, and that to me is just like,
it's like,
so
what kind of
anger inducing is that?
Gross individual are you to do that to my mom and dad?
Bad people in the world. So we have a very wonderful guest today. Actually, he's always here, but our producer, director, and all around tech manager is here, and he's going to give out his scam story. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
If you are interested in learning more or connecting with the said resource, a link to their socials and website will be in the podcast description or post. Also, a disclaimer. No money was exchanged in any way for space in the podcast. We're just trying to help.
Hi, my name is Talia. I am the Center Operations Supervisor over at Blue Sprig, where we provide ABA therapy for children with autism from the ages of 2 to the ages of 18. We provide services both in the center, in home, in school, and also in the community. We provide an RBT. We work with a team of RBTs and a BCBA to create the treatment plan for our clients, for your kid, focused on academic and also preschool education. And also those life skill intervention as well. If you would like to find any more information on things that we do, you can find us on our website, bluesprigautism.com, and also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Bluesprig Autism.
You're saying I'm used to this.
You're not used to being on this side
because I have it on monitor.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, y'all look great, by the way.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks. It's wonderful for you to be here to share your story today.
About time.
This is last minute,
I'm
so
totally not used to being in front of the camera. I'm always the person behind
yeah.
it, so.
He's the one that makes the magic happen on the tech side.
Yeah, he's done a lot to make this reality, and so we're really grateful.
It's fun.
Yep. All right, so tell us your story.
What's your scam story? What happened to you?
Okay, so this is back in I would say just around March of 2021-ish.
Okay.
So things were starting to kind of come back to normal post-COVID, and we were kind of trying to get back into the job hunt, at least for me. I had just graduated from college about a year before. Right in the midst of it, I jokingly said I graduated when the world ended. So I basically had to wait an extra 6-7 months before I could even pursue the job search.
Yeah.
So around March or so, I applied for a job, and then I get an email back, and the email, I just want to say first off that the email always had this sort of sketchiness to it. The interview that I did with them had this sort of sketchiness. It was like,
what was it about it that made it feel sketchy?
Well, it was the interview was through a third party, like some sort of app that would that basically was like kind of like one of those how do I say this, had an IP lock on it so that you couldn't track like where they came from and stuff.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
That's
And they
weird.
also,
So it wasn't a person?
You were talking to a person.
You
but
were
they
talking to a person.
But they would have their IP locked, basically. It was an encrypted, quote unquote.
But see, like for somebody like me, I hit my mic, that was, dumb about stuff like that. I wouldn't
even
would I even
necessarily have thought
understand
to
that
do
was
that.
like, I
Yeah.
don't think I would be able to know that was
Also,
even a thing. So that's good you even knew that.
Well, and the email address that they even had that was authorized for all of it was just red flags everywhere. But for some reason, and I look back at this now and I'm like, well, I don't know why I went through with it, but I still went through with it.
Yeah.
Up to the point where even my employee paperwork, everything involved with the process was just screaming scam.
Mm-hmm.
But because I know that personally, I was so desperate to get something
Yeah.
because I really needed a job.
Yeah.
Right,
And they
right.
were totally preying on your
And,
desperation.
yeah,
they could
preying on my desperation.
they could probably feel it. They're like,
And-
ooh, okay.
And
I know that like I could look back at it and like, you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? But yet I still kept at it. And in fact, for about a month, they had asked for me to purchase a iPhone and an iPad.
Okay.
That would be sent over that they said they were going to send out and add like proprietary software to make it fit for the company or something like that.
Right.
And which also is another big red flag. Don't do that. Buying anything with your own money is automatically a no. Should
Yeah.
always be a no.
Right.
Yeah.
As somebody who has worked in the corporate world where I've had company
Right.
provided
See, somebody
phones.
like us that are teachers, that we do that all the time.
They are company
We're buying stuff all the time
Yeah.
that we need.
Company provided means that they're buying it, not you.
Right.
So even if they say, "Oh, no, don't do it."
Mm-hmm.
Also, and in the end, like I lost about $3,000 that I didn't even have.
yeah, because you were out of work. You'd
Yeah,
been out of work,
I
and you
had-
had just
Yeah.
graduated from school. Yeah,
All I
that
had
was,
was a mountain
was
of debt.
awful.
Right. Yeah.
I just remember, it took about a month to really process everything, and like it also led to like massive arguments with me and my mother because I was living with my parents at the time, living with our parents.
Mm-hmm.
As you don't know, I am the baby of
The little brother.
He's my my baby brother.
I don't look it. Apparently I've been bald my whole life. But on a serious note, I had really bad arguments with my mom over it because she was seeing red flags and she was trying to really confront me about it, but I wouldn't budge.
Yeah.
I got something here. Don't mess with this. And it led to a situation where I finally had to kind of confront it myself. You know, you don't necessarily... The weird thing with like when you're being scammed or when you're being conned by somebody, you either get so like invested into it to where you can't escape it, or it has to be some sort of like revelatory, like come to Jesus moment
Yeah.
that pops into your head and says, "Oh, this is bull."
Yeah, this is crap. This is not going. This is not going well.
Right.
This is
Yeah. There's something.
yeah, yeah. You have
it's
to
a-
have a wake up moment, basically.
No.
So, what was your wake up? What do you think?
It was when I started to kind of look into why, like, how do scams kind of like tried to see if this was like a scam.
Yeah,
And then I also had even contacted the actual company
Mm-hmm.
to say, "Hey, I'm an employee. I've been having some issues. Like, could I talk
Oh,
to somebody?"
yeah. I think
And they
I
didn't
remember
have-
that.
And they didn't have my name on record or anything, and so that was kind
So
of
it was like
Oh.
they
that's-
don't know anything about you. They were
Yeah.
just using this company as a
As
front.
a front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all a front. It was all an act.
And there were even moments when I was even sending out the iPad and iPhone where even like the people at UPS were like, "This seems really weird."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
yeah.
Lo and behold, they've had, instances like this happen in the past. And then as I've gotten out of that to where like, hey, I'm trying to be more open about this. Like this happened to me. And sure, it's easy to just say, well, you're an idiot because you kept on going through with it. And I'm like, duh. But at the same time, I also know that I wanted it to not be the case. because
So
I
badly.
kept thinking,
Yeah.
oh, this is just typical work mistakes. I'm pretty sure this happens all the time. And it's the same exact sort of logic that comes in when people are through like in really bad, like in abusive relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about catfishing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's the
Oh, yeah.
same exact
Same
thing,
thing,
that,
yeah.
that like they just want it to be true so bad that Johnny Depp is on the other, the
Right,
other side
yeah.
of this, or
Yeah.
whoever. But like that's it. They've just decided in their head, well, I just want this to be true so much that
So
I
it
will.
is. So it's true.
It became easy to.
Yeah.
And I think too, part of it was you really hadn't had your first corporate job at that point yet. You hadn't had your first, all of those things that came later.
Right.
You would say, oh, well, that, you see the difference in the situations. It's easy to say that from that point of view, but from the point of view that you had at that moment when you were going through all of that,
Yeah, you
nobody
didn't know,
ever
really.
nobody
Yeah.
knew.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's just, the best way I can sum it up is that I was willing to ignore the red flags. And I know that it's real easy, especially when, like, look, when you're in a naive situation where you're not very familiar with, like, how that operates, I think people are a little bit more empathetic. Mm-hmm. Like, they sympathize with people because, like, they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I think we also must recognize that even if you know the stuff,
Oh, yeah.
you're just as likely.
Yeah.
You're just as likely
Yeah.
to be victimized. You're just as likely to
Yeah.
be taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
And don't, I would say, still extend that grace to the people who should at least have had some knowledge, but yet they still fell victim to it, because usually what happens is that they think, oh, that would never happen to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. That's true.
Yeah.
I get that.
So
I get that.
I think that's probably, like,
Mm-hmm.
at least it's humbling to admit that, like, I'm prone to falling for stuff. Like,
Yeah, I'm just as prone as the next person could
and
be.
I will admit that, like, one of the weird things about it is that it still kind of leads into, like, how the body responds to that.
Sure.
And especially in, like, the trauma and because it is traumatizing.
It's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's
Even
very
if you-
traumatic.
And, like, because...
Well, you
it's
feel like
not-
you can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And there's a certain amount of, like I said, anger for me. Like,
Yeah.
I was very angry
Oh,
that
yeah.
somebody would do this.
I know.
And
yeah.
so, like, I was very angry. Like, when this happened to you, I was very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what am I going to say? But still, it's anger. It makes me angry that people would be like this, that someone would be so callous. And,
Well, thankfully,
Yeah.
you had Mom take care of that.
yeah, she took care of you.
She yelled at me. But anyway, like, it did allow me to, like, share that with classmates or colleagues from university. I got to share that as part of my like a brief story.
It's a
with,
good warning
future
story. I mean, I'll
students
tell
and
you,
stuff.
if somebody
Just,
else
like,
benefits from that
it's
story,
like-
it'll be worth
because
it.
You don't. I don't know if they, like. I'll be honest. I don't really know, especially because I remember my time in college, like how often I paid attention to stuff, like very little.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I hope that it was enough for them to like, say, hey, this is actually very serious. That, that you might think that, oh, I wouldn't fall victim like this guy. You more than likely will.
Yeah.
And even on small things or even large things, like it's everywhere, and you just got to have that sort of discernment, the ability to at least have, like, if there is a litmus test for this stuff.
Yeah.
And usually, like, for example, like you were talking about with your grandparents,
My parents.
about your parents,
Yeah.
and like how usually the response is that it's, oh, I heard them say my grandson's name.
Yeah.
So that must mean there is something
By
legitimate
name.
to
They
it.
called it out by
Yeah,
name.
they called him by name. Yeah.
And so
Oh, I
even-
remember the circumstance. Now, they said he had been in a wreck,
Oh.
but he wasn't driving. The person with him was driving, but I think the person had been drinking, and they knew that he didn't drink, but that they had all gotten sent to jail. Mm-hmm. And so,
So they were scared for him.
Yeah.
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 So it's not only just the situation of,
like, he was in the car with somebody, and they
And
all
it was-
got taken to jail. I mean, that sounds like a legit story.
it's a,
You know?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
traumatic.
Yeah.
Traumatic story on top
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
And even when you're trying to like close out of that process, like trying to get out of it, there's still that part of you in the back of your head that still thinks, is this legitimate? Am I cutting myself away from a potential career or a job or an opportunity?
Well,
or
sure.
something?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so in the weirdest way, like, you're going to respond like in the most like sort of like job friendly way. Like you're just gonna say, hey, I'm cutting ties.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, actually, this is something I forgot as well. They had actually sent me a what was supposed to be my first check from the company. And lo and behold, after I called him off and said, hey, I'm done with this. I can't do this. And there was actually a part of me that thought maybe I should just send them back the money. But lo and behold, the next day, the check bounced.
Yeah. Imagine that. Shocker.
And
Yeah.
so I didn't. And so basically, yeah,
Wow.
it was money that they never had either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically a situation of where,
Yeah, they weren't going to give you any money.
And I remember getting the alert on my phone, and then I basically started to freak out. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then it turns out,
Were you really shocked, though? Deep down, were you really shocked?
when you're caught up in it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
You genuinely are shocked.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
When you're caught up in it, yes, I would say that's a very definite yes.
And at that point too, I think it was like your eyes were opening. Like
Yeah.
it was just like too, you're in that point of what is
At first, I
real.
thought they took my money.
You're like, what is
Gotcha.
That's what at first I thought.
what?
Oh, okay.
You're
And
like,
then-
what is real?
Yeah.
And then it took me about it took me like an hour just sifting through everything and bank records and stuff. And I'm like, okay, they didn't actually take that out.
Oh, okay.
It bounced.
My bank company, the bank I was with, bounced the check.
Okay.
Or canceled the check.
Yeah.
And so then it basically said, okay, I have really no other ties with this company. I mean, sure, I was scammed out. I basically gave them some information, but I had to I had to file a report. I also filed police reports.
That's
made sure
good.
to go through all the process.
Because a lot of people wouldn't fool with it. They'd just be like, oh, just let it go.
You don't want to.
Well, it's also like you said, it's kind of humbling.
Yeah.
You know,
an embarrassment, too.
it's embarrassing. So like you really don't want to be telling the world that you got taken advantage of.
Right,
But
right.
the thing about it is they're getting everybody.
Yeah, they are.
You're not alone.
That's why they keep doing it.
Yeah, and so I had to file. I think if I remember correctly, I had to file with
Federal.
federal. I think it was. I did file.
I think I remember that.
a report there. There was filed a police report and a few other things too. I can't fully remember everything, but I did also. Another thing that you also have to do is that you have to contact your credit. You have to contact your bank, let them know what's going on. You have to also notify. You also then become you basically are on watch for the next couple of years because one, you have to check your credit score. You have to constantly check your credit reports in case
That they have that
in case
information.
they
Yeah.
do take that. And
Oh, man.
if they mess with that or they try to create fake accounts under your name.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, there were two avenues that they were trying to do. One with this job scam, what they were trying to do was one. Basically take away stuff that you bought, which would have been the phone and the iPad.
Right.
And later on they would try to do other stuff too. So
Yeah, if you did kept going. Yeah.
Just keep going. And then the second one was to take your information and basically sell it.
Oh, gotcha.
So kind of do some sort of information hoarding or some sort of
Yeah.
They're
put you on a
really
list.
setting you up for more
Yeah.
scams. You know, basically like, okay, we're going to do this scam and then we're going to do this scam, but maybe we could do this one too. Yeah.
exactly.
That's bad. It's bad.
And so the best advice is always to, and this even came from a job recruiter, looking online through job recruiter sites. So that's always a tough thing too, because
It was in the same categories as the rest of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just right there
and
with
you
it.
just think it's just
It's legit.
there's some feeling of it. Now let's be honest though, yes, there are plenty of people probably thinking, well, they make it intentionally, they're intentionally lazy with how they set things up. They're not
kind of sloppy.
very sloppy.
Okay.
And in a way, that's just them kind of being lazy because they know that really you can get away with that.
Well, because your belief in it
Yeah.
was sugarcoating everything.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like it was like changing the view where
Exactly.
you know, it was like changing the lighting or something in the
Like, if
yeah,
you go
in the
to,
room.
and if you were ever to go to like YouTube or anything, or watch like videos of people who are being scammed, as like, you know, especially like those scam videos where they're like talking about like they're actually tracking people who have been scammed or something like that, or
Right.
being scammed in real time. Like you it's the exact same sort of logic and thinking. You will, if you're in their shoes, you are basically using your flight or fight response.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't really process things really quickly.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that's why that's ultimately like one of the ways how they target people is by using those those very quick.
And I
pushes.
think that there's like something to be said about like when I was talking about catfishing before, there's just so many ties in the way that they kind of led you along that just seem like the same
make
kind of
it
things
sound
that
like it
you
was so
see
real.
in the whole catfishing thing. And you could totally see how someone it depends on what you're looking for in your life. Okay, he was
Yeah.
looking for a job, so that's how they took advantage of him.
Right.
If you were looking for, like, say, a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, it would be easy for somebody to, especially if you really wanted that, you're more likely to believe those kind of things. So whatever you are looking for in your life, you really have to be aware that those things are out there.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. Sometimes they call you. Sometimes you unknowingly let them in the door. But you didn't know that when you started. You know, you don't know that when you're starting that. So, yeah, I think being on guard a little bit and being aware of things. I would like to also say that, like, during that time, I think it was probably one of the most vulnerable times for you as an adult. Like, because here you left school and it was during all the COVID stuff and it was traumatic. And then you were looking for a job desperately and it was traumatic. And I think part of it was the timing. I wonder how many other young people
I bet they got a lot.
were in the same boat. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I never would have ever thought that this would be some way that someone could scam another person.
Oh, I know.
I would never even think of that. The other thing I was going to say was, I have heard about other people getting scammed trying to either buy things on like Marketplace or whatever, or rentals, that they'll set it up and they'll go through the whole thing of getting checks from people and then they don't have anything to do with that rental.
Oh my god!
But they'll go through the whole process, and you'll be out.
And then you don't have a place to stay.
And you never, we're supposed to pick up the keys here at this time, and then you
they're
can
not
never
there.
get back a hold of them.
Oh my
kind of
gosh,
thing.
that's terrible.
Like, and take first and last month's rent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where it really can add up, and
Yikes.
it's very much. I mean, there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things out there, and I think you just have to like stay on guard as best you can. And if you get a sense, whether it's you or someone that you love is going through something, and you're getting that feeling that, the hair on the back of your neck standing up a little bit, you kind of have to say something.
Yeah.
You kind of got to do something sometimes. And
It's also like the best thing too is just to let them also be aware of like, hey, here's some, let's actually have these tough combos and share about like, hey, this is how they'll try to. This is
a possibility. Yeah. This is how
keep your
I
eyes
see
open.
this happen.
You
Yeah.
gotta kind of like have those convos about like, hey, this is what are you really needing in life, and and you also gotta be, you gotta take everything that you read, and take everything that you share or everything that you see with that sort of like grain of salt that says, okay, I could be, how do I say this? I could be not just wrong, but I could also be misled.
Misled. That's the word. Misled. I think that is the word.
So it's always about, especially when it comes to stuff like this. Like, especially when it comes to the job scamming or any sort of scamming that might be going on. It's, oddly enough, kind of usually like the same like 3 or 4 things.
Yeah. Because that's what things people are important in their life. That's it's kind of how they view themselves as being successful or not successful. And whether that's true or not, that's just the way we are human. The humanness of us views it. And so like they try to get you in the ways where you're viewing yourself as being able to do better or whatever. And it's really everywhere. I think that like that's the other part of it, is to realize that it is everywhere. And in conclusion, I'd like to say, you know, if you have a good story that you know, that something's happened to you, just as a good warning to everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of sharing that. It is embarrassing sometimes. It is humbling, but you
might save somebody else from,
and
in the trap that you fell in.
And if you get a sense that one of your loved ones is getting, or potentially like they're in a situation where they're getting taken advantage of, it's good to speak up. It's good to say something, because there's a lot of those kind of things out there.
Yep.
Also, eat your vitamins.
Eat your veggies.
Yeah, eat your veggies. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You did it.
Yeah. Good job.